Hello, everyone. It's Sybil Starr here to give the astrology update for the Sagittarius New Moon. Sagittarius New Moon occurs on November 26th, 2019 at 7:05 a.m. at 4 degrees of Sagittarius. At the new moon is where we plant the seed for the next 30 days. Another way to say that, it is the intention of the energy for the next 30 days. So to begin with, we'll start with Sagittarius because the sun at the new moon, the sun and moon are in Sagittarius. Sagittarius has many meanings. Uh, Sagittarius is about the quest for truth. It is about the quest for the truth and meaning of life. And it is about the big picture. And Sagittarius takes us down many roads to find that truth and meaning. Sagittarius, one of the big teachings of Sagittarius is tolerance, because it is in the quest for truth and meaning. It is important to understand that there is a small truth and a big truth. And that's that small truth, that's our personal truth. And that is the one that continues to grow and expand as it aligns up with, I'm going to call it the bigger truth, the cosmic truth. Okay. And the shadow side of Sagittarius is fundamentalism. It is the belief that we have the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, and our truth is the truth for everyone. Whereas the real teaching of Sagittarius is that we are to be constantly growing and expanding in our search for the truth, because it is so much bigger than we can ever even really um, our small minds can ever really hold. And Sagittarius is very much about the adventurer, the seeker, and it is also aligned with natural law and nature. Now, at this new moon, there is a Sabian symbol. There's a Sabian symbol for every degree of the zodiac. And for those of you who don't know what the Sabian symbols are, there was a woman back, I think in the 1930s, might have been earlier, who had a psychic vision for every degree of the zodiac. And so the degree of the zodiac of this new moon, the symbol is, or the vision is, an old owl perched high up in a tree. And the thing I do want to say is, when you're looking at the Sabian symbols, like for this new moon, the is at 4 degrees 5 minutes of Sagittarius, but we will always go up to the next degree, 5 degrees. So this is the symbol for 5 degrees of Sagittarius. And so what does that mean? An owl. So this is what it says to me. Owls in many cultures around the world mean wisdom. And especially ancient wisdom, old wisdom. When owls are around, it often indicates that the veil between this world and the world of the invisible is very thin, and the supernatural forces are present. And in many cultures, especially in many First Nations cultures, owls mean death. It is a death. When owl shows up, it is an omen of death. But that death can be a symbolic death. And we do know that parts of our world are dying, are breaking down. And if this symbol is really strong for you, if you have any planets near this Sagittarius new moon, some things in your life may be breaking down. But you're also being given a vision of what can be, because Sagittarius always sees the big picture and how, let's say, a change here or a loss here fits into the bigger picture. Okay. Now, this new moon is in what is called an inconjunct or quincunx to this new moon. Is Uranus in Taurus is at 3 degrees, well, 3, almost 4 degrees of Taurus. So that's 150 degrees apart. And these energies, Sagittarius and Taurus, don't have a lot to say to each other. They're very different. And yet they're being asked to speak to each other. Sagittarius, even though it is about natural law, it's more of a lofty vision. It's more, the vision and the big picture, whereas Taurus is very much about the present moment, and it is about natural law and being in the moment. And so how do these two energies work together? Um, Now, I do want to say, and I want to talk a little bit about Uranus. Uranus is the planet that brings change. Every time we're stuck, Uranus will show up. It's called the planet of awakening, and it is called the planet of the divine mind. It's the time when lots of downloads can happen. Intuition can be very strong. And I want to say that about the owl as well. When the owl shows up, it means our intuition is really maybe very, very strong at this time. And so Uranus is the kind of the cliche is expect the unexpected when Uranus shows up. Now, Uranus in Taurus. Taurus has to do with Mother Earth. And so I feel in the natural world. And so Uranus in Taurus has a lot to do with the earth changes that we are seeing. Um, and so there could be one of the adjustments that needs to be made to be able for these Uranus and Taurus and this new moon to talk together is to start the understanding of the meaning of the earth changes. What is happening? What is the underlying? How does it fit into the bigger picture? What is happening? And it is Mother Earth. Mother Earth is speaking to us. She is shaking us. She is trying to wake us up. This is an awakening. Awakening of Mother Earth, awakening of our consciousness to hers. And the question is, are we listening? The messages are coming, the meaning is coming, but we need to listen and pay attention and to wake up. Now, also, it seems to me like a piece of what is happening is, you know, is the Kundalini. Uranus activates the energy body, the energetic, or some of our energetic fields. And I feel like Uranus in Taurus is about awakening the Kundalini of Mother Earth. And so the places where Mother Earth's Kundalini is actually very strong are sacred places, sacred sites. Ancient peoples knew these sacred sites, and so do our indigenous people. And these are the places where the energy of Mother Earth is very strong. We might call them vortexes, we might call them ley lines, we might call them all kinds of things. But the energetic grid is waking up, and it is shaking Mother Earth, and it is shaking us. And so many of us are feeling the call to go to some of these sacred sites. And there's a reason we're being called. It's because Mother Earth does have a message for us, and it is about waking up to her consciousness. And so it's really important to prepare ourselves for when we go to these places, to prepare ourselves to become in alignment with Mother Earth and to wake up on higher and wake up into other aspects of our consciousness. And so preparation is important. A second piece that is really important is to be aware of the energies when you go there. When you go on this is about a spiritual pilgrimage. It feels like this is a call to go on spiritual pilgrimage and to be aware of the sacred sites and to be present to the energies that are there so that the healing, the messages, whatever it is that needs to happen for us personally, as well as what we take back into our world, are more profound and allows them to continue to unfold. So there is deeper understanding. And to remember that when we are called to sacred sites, they are sacred, and that each step we take is sacred, and to be in prayer and listening. There's another meaning, it feels to me like that since I came back from Egypt, that I have been working with a lot. It just came back really strong because when I came back from Egypt, I did not want to be back. I was very resistant to being here. And I started working with this energy and started being aware that, yes, of course I am here. And to be more effective in this world, the mythic world that I walked in Egypt is still with me. And it is not to let it go, it is to integrate it. We are being asked to walk in two worlds. The natural world, which is Mother Earth, and the mythic world, which is the world of Sag. and Sagittarius. And the thing is, you know, our ancient peoples and our indigenous people know this. They knew this, they remember this, and they know that the world of the invisible is not part of, but is, there is no separation. It's just our consciousness that believes that. And so it's how to weave that mythic world into our everyday consciousness, and to know that it is always there with us, walking with us. The world of the invisible is just as real as the world of the visible. It's just remembering that. And one of the ways is synchronicity. Uranus brings synchronicity, and that is the universe just, you know, making a breadcrumb trail to what it is you need to know, leaving breadcrumbs and following those breadcrumbs as to what the world of the invisible is trying to tell you or teach you. The next thing I did want to talk about is Uranus in Taurus is in opposition to Mars. And Mars is a catalyst. He's an activator. It's like what you add to your soups to make things pop, makes it come alive. Whenever Mars is active in in an astrological configuration, it means something's going to happen. And Uranus opposite, Uranus and Taurus opposite this means something unexpected. So be prepared for unexpected things to happen in your life right now and in our world, and expect some unexpected behavior. Things you might do, things that you never thought you would do, and because for some reason you're triggered to do it, and you have the courage to do it now. But it also reminds me, Uranus is also chaos, you know, and Mars is courage. And so it reminds me of the Tower card. And, you know, in the Tarot, if you're familiar with that at all, you know, it is an image of a tower and lightning striking it. And Uranus is lightning. Uranus, lightning striking the tower, and the tower shattering. One of the images is the Tower of Babel. There's many of images like that. And so that's happening in our consciousness. And what it says to me is that any foundations in our life, any structures in our life that are built on false foundations are not and not in alignment with our changing value system, are going to be shattering. And what happens, how we have the courage to face that. And that is happening in our world. And it reminds me of the shamanic, Egyptian shamanic concept of dismemberment and rememberment. It's like there is a dismemberment happening so that we can remember and come back into what is more our real and authentic selves. And so Taurus has a lot to do with our values, and Uranus in there, Uranus in Taurus has to do with changing our values. And Mars has to do with our desire nature, and especially in Scorpio, our desire nature is incredibly strong. And so what I feel like also is this Tower card. It is about any values that are no longer in alignment with who we are and who we have become, and what is real and true is shattering. And it is about aligning our desire nature behind that to rebuild into remembering. But another piece is about Mars in Scorpio specifically. And I'm going to bring up another image of the Tarot, which is the Five of Cups. In the Thoth deck, the Five of Cups is Mars in Scorpio. And the word for that is disappointment. And I never quite understood that because I always saw Mars in Scorpio as very passionate, very determined. How can it be this disappointment card where we're looking at all these cups that are turned over where our regrets are? And my really brilliant Tarot teacher told me that Mars in Scorpio, when the desire nature is really strong, you want something really bad, you'll do anything to get it because all of your energy and life force is focused on this desire. And when you don't get it, there's great disappointment. And I know I myself have a terrible time dealing with disappointment. And yet I just had an experience this week where I thought I wanted something really bad and I didn't get it. And I recognized that it was a huge relief. And sometimes that happens too, because I realized it wasn't in my highest good, but I knew I wanted it and I couldn't seem to control I couldn't seem to control that desire nature. But I couldn't really afford it. And it was a real blessing when I didn't get it. And I know I've said this prayer many times, and I think I even once saw a greeting card that had it, and it was the Dalai Lama, I think, that actually said it in kind of the same words, about being grateful for when you didn't get something you thought you wanted. It's like I said it numerous times, thank you for not giving me what I thought I wanted. So often in hindsight, we can see it, even when in the moment it's like, oh my God, I really wanted that. This is really disappointing. But as we adjust our values, we start to realize that what really, it was an unconscious motivation that was driving us. And that as we adjust our values, we no longer want things that are really not in our highest good. And so I feel like this is another piece of it. And the thing is, as the Kundalini is really moving through Mother Earth with this aspect, I feel like it's also moving through our bodies and moving blockages around that, around places where we are not in alignment with, we're not living either in alignment with our values or our values need realigning. And I feel like it's also about aligning with the values of Mother Earth, because what we value, we will protect. We will fight for and we will protect. And I feel like this is one of the adjustments that is happening. And the last piece I want to talk about is the planet Jupiter, which rules Sagittarius, is in Sagittarius. So, and Jupiter is the great benefic. It's called the Santa Claus of the zodiac. And is conjunct Venus, goddess of love. These two planets together, and they're beautiful in the night sky. If you live in a place where you can see them, they're close enough together that you should be able to see them. And Venus, goddess of love, combined with Santa Claus. I mean, it's a blessing. So there's a blessing shining down on us at this time, even if we can't see it with these changes happening. And so it's so important. I think the really big adjustment is adjustment in our attitude. The attitude of gratitude is what wants to happen. Even in the midst of these changes, gratitude and just saying thank you every day for whatever comes our way, even if it's a challenge. And there are some challenges that are hard to say thank you for, but to find something in your life to be grateful for, even if it's a loss or something that really hurts. Find something each day to say thank you for, and there is something each day to say thank you for. And so I want to just send you love and blessings in this holiday season, and I will see you in a month. All right, aho, and thank you.